What should everybody be doing besides,
I tell people, it was funny. I was talking with a couple people in my community the other day, and I said, people don't even do the lazy things right. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, people don't even go to sleep on time. Like, that's the lazy that you could do for your health, and you don't even go to bed on time. Like, okay, perfect. We can talk about your abs, we can talk about your food, but unless you get the basics things, the lazy, like brushing your teeth, like showering, these things are health and nutrition. I am pointing fingers, bro. But sleep is very important. So you have your circadian rhythm, you have your REM sleep. Sleep is really important for recovery. Sleep is really important for mental health, but people don't sleep well. So I think we begin from the basics. They need to learn how to sleep well. How do you sleep well? A couple things. First, you need to cut out processed sugars, complex carbs, and heavy foods at night. Your body does not do very well when you eat heavy at night. Your body is supposed to be recovering, resting, repairing itself, regenerating. Ideally, you should also be fasting. Your body should enter periodically stages of autophagy. Autophagy is when your body begins to eat the bad cells up. This happens about 3 days into a fast. Fasting is incredible. So the simple things, people are like, what do I need to do? No. What do you not need to do first? Let's get rid of all the toxicity before we bring in anything good. So before we start, assembling the dinner table, let's clear out all that's already on there that's not good, that's not serving you, and let's fix that. Sleep, don't eat processed sugars, don't eat complex carbs, stay away from fruit juice, stay away from candy, stay away from fast food in perpetuity. Stay away from tap water, and if you're a woman, consult with your doctor to potentially get off of birth control pills, which are a psyop that has been perpetrated on women in the last, couple decades. Before that, women were never on birth control. But for some reason, now we have hundreds of millions of them. And the reason and the logic is because men can't keep their pants. Not a good enough explanation.
Is that hormonal? Like the birth control?
I mean, it's interesting because I've talked to a lot of women about when they were recommended to get on birth control, and it's usually in their early teens. And it has to do when their hormones are all out of whack and it's supposed to calibrate them. But what you're doing is you're bioregulating the body outside of what it's supposed to be doing in its natural process. So once a woman gets out of her birth control kind of cycle, her hormones go through the roof and all over the place because they've been with for an extremely long time. It's something that people should really look into.
I mean, you
know what's the craziest part about that?
What?
You know when Alex Jones said that the tap water's turning the frogs gay? Okay. Can I tell you something about that?
Please.
Okay. What if the treatment plants, women take the estrogen pill, right? That's what the birth control is, basically superpowered estrogen. And remember, when you take a pill orally, most of it gets urinated. The estrogen, heavy urinated estrogen, gets peed into the water stream. That water is known as what? A recyclable commodity. So water just gets recycled. Through what? A treatment plant. You're drinking water full of piss and estrogen if you drink tap water.
I drink spring water.
Good. Not you, but I'm saying in general. So the treatment plant, the water goes through the treatment plant. It doesn't treat for estrogen. Look it up. And that water comes back to the tap. So now you have men, believe it or not, like it or not, drinking estrogen water. Now, does this provoke to the feminization of men? Yes or no? Who knows? But all we do know is that it's turning frogs from male to female, and it's happened. Now, is that a conspiracy? Is that a crazy out of the blue perspective to have? All I will say is that when the New York mayor goes on video, opens the tap water, drinks it, says, New York tap water is the best, and I know he's a politician, I don't trust him. And under that same premise, I'm like, anything the government gives me that's free is probably not good.
I mean, that's hard to argue against because what you're saying makes sense. You do take the pill, you do piss it out, and we recycle the water to drink. So you can't really argue with it.
And the treatment plant doesn't treat for estrogen.
But they can?
But they don't.
They can though?
I don't know. I haven't gone to that complexity, but they don't treat fresh water.
They got to get a reverse osmosis machine, huh?
They just don't drink tap water. There's places in the world where you can potentially get away with tap water, but why would you drink water? You don't know what's in the pipes. You don't know the quality of the water. Bro, look at all the movies. Look at The Dark Knight, dude. They're out here trying to kill the city up through the water supply, the public water supply.
Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy,
the way to do
dude.
it. But do you ever just have like a fun little drink or a fun little snack?
Yeah, bro. I'll have a little bit of cannabis. Do you smoke weed?
I don't.
Have you ever smoked weed?
No.
You hesitated there. Are your parents watching?
They might be. Well, the closest I got was I used to work at a job, and I was driving the guys to a job site.
So you got hotboxed?
I got hotboxed, and I didn't even realize it, but they were ripping like a pen in the back, and I almost ended up crashing. Like I'm trying to slow down the car.
So you got
almost
hotboxed, okay. That's probably every now and then my guilty pleasure.
Cannabis.
Yeah, a little cannabis, a little Bob Marley.
So no fun snack, just the cannabis?
No, bro.
You don't eat a bag of chips ever?
Never, bro.
You're lying.
Never, bro.
A little Talkies?
It's so gross, bro. It's disgusting. Why would you? Would you cheat on your wife once?
No.
Why?
That's cheating.
Because it's disgusting. Why would you cheat on yourself?
I want to say having a little bag of chips every once in a while.
Yeah, and having a little side isn't that bad either.
Yeah, it is. You're breaking the covenant of marriage. We're talking about
You're breaking the covenant with yourself. The thing is,
I don't have a covenant
and that's the difference, brother. I've committed myself to the purity of my vessel. Something that you are supposed to commit to if you're a Christian.
When
You're
did you
not
do
supposed
that?
to contaminate yourself with the
You gotta
food of
keep
the
the
king.
temple.
Was that like a
And
conscious?
remember what the Bible says. If you do not, take care of the temple, God will destroy it. It's in the Bible. And if you believe the Bible, well, then you better start taking care of your vessel.
When did you lock in like this?
After I had my first psychedelic experience. Guys, mushrooms are crazy.
Would you recommend them
Yes,
to
bro.
me?
Yes.
To TJ?
Me?
Yes, bro.
He's 18. No, bro, that's
Is
crazy.
legal?
That's
Is he of
reckless.
age? Can you?
That's reckless.
Why?
Isn't that like dangerous?
That's mind altering.
Recommending that to like millions of people online, especially like
Brother, I got a
15-year-olds?
clip that went viral that had 1 million likes that said everybody should do mushrooms. Everybody should do mushrooms. Everybody should do mushrooms.
Why?
I have been to the Amazon forest where there's 5-year-old kids taking ayahuasca, and they're local Indian kids. Like, they're local Indians, they're local tribesmen, chilling. Now, would I recommend it for the entire world? No. But I would recommend it to you guys.
You just said everybody should.
I'll make videos where that'll go viral.
Okay.
But where I'm saying take mushrooms. I'm not telling to 1 million people, bro. When I did a podcast recently. I was talking to this girl. I said, take mushrooms. That clip went viral. I was talking to her. This clip will go viral. Guys, take some mushrooms. It'll be good for your
Yeah, but
mental reset.
aren't you kind of worried about the impact you're having? Because some people
It's
might
great
see that
impact.
video.
It's great impact. It's great impact.
Why do you think they're so good?
Try them.
I'm scared, bro.
That's why. You know why you fear something? What is fear?
Just being scared. I don't know.
What do you,
Unknown.
When can you fear something?
When you don't know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Do you think
I know what's going to happen. That's why I can tell you, not as an idiot, for you to learn that I maybe know something that you don't.
Do you think it's spiritual? Like, do you enter a spiritual realm when you take mushroom?
Well, what is a spiritual realm? Define spiritual realm.
Just another realm, or do you think it's just chemicals getting released in your brain?
I mean, what do you mean by a different realm? Explain.
Well, here's the thing. We were talking to somebody this week, and they were a big mushroom proponent, and they were saying that a lot of people who take mushrooms, they have a similar experience, and they almost meet in like a realm. Like there's overlapping experiences. Like they'll meet in like this white room, and then on Reddit they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've been to that." And there's like these beings that judge you. So do you enter like a new world? Is it a portal?
I mean, I think that there's different dimensions, and I think that psychedelics do tap you into different dimensions, just like this is a dimension. So I guess if you're on the same vibrational frequency as somebody else, you could potentially be in the same metaverse space.
So it's not just chemicals.
No,
It's-
absolutely not. I mean, if you break down everything to just chemical reactions, then nothing is really real. Then your relationship with your girl isn't really real. Love isn't real. It's just chemical reactions that you're just kind of navigating life through as a soup of fluid that's just walking around in a sack of meat, right?
That's a good point.
So I think you have to be okay with the supernatural, not the non-natural, the supernatural experiences. Because when you begin to evaluate, when people receive epiphanies, like Solomon, like David, like Jacob, like Paul, like John, a lot of these guys go into transcendental states. Do they go into transcendental states with psychedelics or not? I don't know. But they go into transcendental states to have spiritual experiences. Can you have spiritual experiences through non-transcendental psychedelic experiences? Absolutely. But would you say, for example, me going into a state of meditation is a good thing or a bad thing?
What would define state of meditation?
Me going into a deep state where I am hyper-focused on my spirit as opposed to the environment and the things that are happening. You could call it a prayerful state.
I like prayerful state, see?
But you see, the thing is, you've attributed, and that goes back to what I'm saying, right? It's these words.
Yeah.
It's the dogma. It's the belief system. It's the fact that I know something about meditation that you don't, and you believe that you know something about meditation that has given you the conviction and has limited your ability to do what? To experience life. And you don't have to go out and experience crap, right? That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to go out and sleep with a prostitute. You still have to have moderation, and you still have to have intelligence, and you still have to have wisdom, and not everything is for everybody. But to neglect yourself experiences of life simply because you say, I am afraid, solve that fear with knowledge. And if you can't find that knowledge, go to sources and people that you trust and convey with them. Talk to them, dialogue with them, and then develop your own thesis. Don't just say, well, I'm not going to do this because I'm afraid, or I'm not going to do this because my mom said so.
Well, what if the answer isn't, I'm afraid? What if it's just, I don't care to?
Then don't do it. Just like I don't care to jump from an airplane.
Right.
I don't care to do that, and I'm not going to do that. Am I losing an experience of life by not doing that? Yes. I'm okay with that. And just the same way with mushroom. It's the same thing with everything else.
Do you think it's at all dangerous?
Yeah, I mean, everything is dangerous. One, outside of moderation, and two, is understanding that when you enter spiritual states, you need to be spiritually equipped. And most people enter spiritual states that are ulterior spiritual states, and they assume that everything that they experience in that ulterior state, because it's ulterior, is true. And the truth is, most things are false. And that goes for everything in life, even the things that you interact with in spiritual dimensions.
But I feel like with mushrooms, you're almost, because you said you could enter those dimensions in other ways, through prayer, through be meditation. But don't you think that mushrooms, you're kind of brute forcing it?
Yes.
So you definitely
It's a
might
cheat
not be
code.
ready for it.
Absolutely.
And that's where you can get messed up. That's where people come out of it, different people.
Yes,
And that can
and
be
most
negative,
of them come out better people.
but
because
not all.
because to not be ready does not mean that it's not good. Most people, you weren't ready for marriage. You're never going to be ready for kids. But when it happens to you, you'll be like, that's pretty good.
I don't know, man. I don't believe that everybody should take Shrooms' message. All right, man. What are you doing next? You're going hard on YouTube?
I think I want to start posting more on YouTube.
Okay.
And my goal is to continue building Capital Club.
Why, brother?
I think the reason I want to build Capital Club, and I appreciate you asking me that, is because I think I have a really good opportunity at rewiring the aspiring entrepreneur and the developed entrepreneur into an ecosystem that allows them to be authentic, that allows them to network with individuals that actually care about them, to find knowledge that's not based on profit, but it's based on experience, which is hard to find. And my reputation is unassailable. My reputation speaks for itself, and I've maintained a good reputation by doing good business. And I think that Capital Club is kind of the unifier of all the communities on the internet, as kind of that town square for people to come in and hang out. And just because I was able to make money before, kind of gives me the ability to not have to milk the out of my audience like most people would do, because I've made money. So it puts me in a very special situation to really be able to build a very powerful movement towards the development of self, which is my entire mission, becoming the best version of who you are meant to be. The Jews believe that. They believe that, it's very interesting, they have this philosophy that if you do not fulfill your fullest potential, that it's sin. Christians don't believe that. Christians believe that you can just be, and that's okay. Do you want me to tell you scripture to prove that?
Okay, I feel like we're diving too deep. Speak on the Capital Club thing.
Well, you asked me what I'm doing next.
All right, but why?
Let's hear the scripture.
Do you care about what I'm doing next? Do you care about what
I
I'm doing
do.
next?
That's why I want to get to the bottom of it.
So why am I
want
going
to keep asking
too deep
why?
on Capital Club?
I want to ask, if you just care about that, why not make it free? Like, I sell a course, it's for money.
Because I have to pay for my time. My time is valuable. Money exists for a reason. It's a vehicle in exchange of what?
Value.
Perfect. What do you think I'm going to go do with that money?
Spend it on shrooms.
No. I'm going to continue doing what I've done. Continue building Capital Club.
So you're not going to blow it on a Lambo?
I don't need a Lamborghini.
You're not into cars at all?
I mean, if you were listening to me.
I was. But you said McLaren, you didn't say Lambo. You said McLaren.
Come on.
You said
You know
McLaren.
this,
You
bro.
said McLaren.
You can't do this to me. You already know my ethos. You know what I stand for. I have fancy houses. I have nice things. When you're purpose driven, you're not driven by money. And I will make a ton of money, but it doesn't drive me. And I will get rich in proportion to the value that I provide to the marketplace. That's why Elon Musk doesn't make his cars free.
But what's the point if you're not going to
at
do good
cost.
things? What's the point of making money if you're not going to enjoy it a little?
I'm going to enjoy it. I just enjoy it in different ways. I enjoy it in travel. I enjoy it by giving my team bonuses. I enjoy it by scaling my team. I enjoy it by doing events. 2024, we're doing dozens of events all over the world. That costs money. I have to fly 20 people. It's not cheap. Who's going to pay for that? The club pays for that. How does the club pay for it? With memberships. Just like the Ritz-Carlton has a member. I'm a member of the Ritz-Carlton Reserve. You know how much my membership was? It wasn't free. It was $100 grand. And then $1,000 a month maintenance fee.
Have you benefited?
Of course. The people that actually pay $100,000 with me are the people that I want to hang out with. So I go to the jacuzzi and I'm hanging out with billionaires. You don't believe it? Okay, that you don't believe it, that's fine. That's because you haven't paid $100,000 for a membership. So when you do, you'll realize that there's value in the network, so you pay to play because that's the name of the game. And if you're a cheap, well, that's exactly what you're going to get in life, scarcity. I pay to play, just like you would do in any RPG game, just like you would do in any MMO. You literally use your coins to level up your character and to unlock different levels. I do it, you do it, name of the game.
I don't play video games.
You are living in a video game, and that's the ultimate choice. You're either going to be a bot, an NPC that runs off the scripts, brother, and that's your choice, or you're going to choose your scripts, become a glitch, and forge your own path. There's two choices: glitch, a person, and Jesus was the original glitch.
I don't know, man. You're calling glitches your fan base, and now you're gonna.
No.
That's almost heresy. It's
No.
a little disrespectful.
Is it disrespectful?
To call him a glitch,
What is a glitch?
your fan base.
No. What is a glitch? You asked me what a glitch was.
A glitch is someone who defies the matrix.
Perfect. So what you're telling me is that I've identified a definition to a word.
So you're just making up your own words?
Yeah, why not? Words are just made up constructs of thoughts and ideas, are they not?
That's cult leader behavior.
No, it's not.
It is. You got to define the words.
The
and then
word
you
glitch
control
is
everything.
the word. Look up the definition of a glitch. It's a dictionary definition.
Look it up, TJ.
It's all comes down to very simple principles. The principles of software and hardware. You have a glitch in the software, it breaks the software. You run off the normal scripts, you're a bot, you're coded. It's very simple. It's not cultish behavior. It's very straightforward language. You just haven't been able to identify yourself as a glitch yet, but you are, hopefully.
Does knowing all of this hinder your happiness at all? I'm just I don't want to put any words in your mouth. I respect you, but when you're just more carefree, well, you could be happy with anything, right? But for you, if you know so much and you understand so much, does that make life more difficult?
No, because that's under the assumption that happiness is what I'm pursuing.
You don't want to be happy?
I didn't say that. It's not my pursuit, because happiness is a chemical reaction. If you're pursuing a chemical reaction, then it's always going to be fleeting. I'm pursuing experiencing life and pursuing truth. I've said this again and again, but you guys aren't listening to me. I love you guys, but listen to me when I speak. It comes back to truth, guys. Literally all of it. My business, my conversation with you guys, my conversation with myself, the exploration of truth, figuring things out, having uncomfortable conversations, saying things that might, all in the pursuit of truth, brother, and all with good intentions.